Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. My name is Alison. I'm a certified dating and relationship coach, and I primarily work with singles to help them find the love and commitment that they deserve. Every Wednesday, usually around 6 p.m. Eastern, but my husband and I decided that we were going to take a little drive, so ends up being 7 p.m. Eastern today. We do this live Q&A. So how does the live Q&A work? As you guys are coming in, let me explain to you. So every Tuesday around this time, I drop this same green story, which will probably change. I took some new photos yesterday and they're amazing, but it'll be green nonetheless, right? I dropped this same story, and inside of the story, there is a box. You can see this box. That is where you put your question. Please do not DM me the questions. I will not be able to find them. I DM all day long and I won't find your stuff, okay? So let's keep it organized. So every Tuesday, I drop that story. You put your question in. If you are a subscriber to my Instagram page, I will guarantee answer your questions first. And whatever time is left, I will answer everyone else's. Ooh, sorry. So I see Pisces Beauty says, oh, I'm so beautiful. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Hey, Marlon, how are you? Beautiful stranger 37, welcome. If you are new to my page, please introduce yourself. Let us know who you are and where you are from so that we can welcome you to the land of love. Hello, Shorty 716, Kiba, the makeup artist. How are you? We have Kim B, we have Moni, we have Irreplaceable to You. Brittany is here. Hello, hello, Crystal. Luxury Play Zone, how are you, love? Love the party recently that you threw for your daughter. It was amazing. It was fetch. Hello, Nita. Scully speaks for herself. I think it's W. Shiree. How are you? How are you? Everyone who is coming in, I appreciate you. Please go ahead and share this live with anyone who you think can benefit. So, Ashley Dolly, you are so intuitive. Yes, this is a new chair. This is a rocking chair for the baby. So, I changed up the chair. If you are not new, if you've been with me, you know there's a whole story behind the chair. If you want to know the story behind the chair, then I want you to download anything for free. Click the link in my bio and I will email you my story. It's an amazing story with my old chair. But the new chair is just a rocking chair for the baby. So had to switch it out. All right. Oh, thank you, Pretty Brown. I appreciate that. I have leftover makeup from yesterday. Trust me, I worked really hard to get it off and then my hairs did. So also a very interesting story about this, but that's for my subscribers only. So make sure you subscribe. Click the subscription thingy on my page. Okay. Keeper says, I know the chair story. It's a good story. And it's very sad. It's outside of these doors that's behind this camera. But let us get into the live Q&A. All right, beautiful people. And if there's time, I'll take questions live. Okay. All right. So where are we? Question 1. I'm going with the subscribers first. They get first preference. They get first dibs. Okay. Thoughts on spinning the block after you've blocked them but keep thinking about them. Thoughts on spinning the block, meaning dating someone again that you dated before, going back, after you block them but keep thinking about them. Okay, so my first question to you is, why did you block them? Was it reasonable? So when you are dating, you need to know exactly what you're looking for in a partner in order to assess whether or not they're a good fit for you, right? Those are the non-negotiables. I talk about them every single week. You should come up with a list of behaviors and traits that a partner must have or a potential partner must have before you consider dating them, right? So I have my list. It's on my page. You can scroll if you want to see it. I have that they have to be hardworking. They have to be affectionate. They have to be family oriented, blah, 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 blah. Thank you, Views from the Bars, for purchasing a badge. So those are my non-negotiables. Yours are going to be yours. You don't have to listen to mine. You have to follow mine. You have to create yours based on your own values, your own desires, your own experiences, what you need versus what you want. These are what your needs are. Non-negotiable. We are not negotiating, right? Now, once you have your non-negotiables, you are then going to create questions around those non-negotiables to assess whether or not the person has them. So when I work with my clients, I give them the questions. They come up with their non-negotiables because that's 100% independent. Like, you have to decide what's right for you. And then I give them the questions that they need to ask, when they need to ask it, how they need to ask it. Some things you can't ask. Some things are going to be observations, right? So how do you observe? What are the circumstances that will allow you to observe those behaviors? That's number 1. Thank you, Luxury Play Zone, for purchasing a badge, right? Cool. So we have that. Once you know your non-negotiables, you know what questions to ask, how to ask it, when to ask it, you know what behaviors and traits you need to observe, then that's how you decide whether or not you want to date this person. You decide whether or not you want to continue to date them. You decide whether or not you want to be committed to them, and they decide to. You decide whether or not you want to marry them based on, do they fulfill what you are looking for? So to answer the question of whether or not you should spin the block, should you give an ex a chance, that really goes back to, do they have what you're looking for? Now, I would like to imagine that if they had what you were looking for, then you wouldn't have deaded them in the first place and you wouldn't have blocked them in the first place. But perhaps you blocked them off of emotion, which is another conversation for another day about you making decisions willy-nilly based on how you feel in the moment and not on the grand scheme of things, right? That's another conversation for another day. But if you block them because they blatantly are not fulfilling what you're looking for, right, and offended you in some form or fashion, I don't, let's not just be blocking people willy-nilly, but if you block them because they did not have what you were looking for, then it doesn't make sense to spin the block. Spin the block looking for what? When we spin the block, right, we're looking for parking. We're in New York City, right? There's no parking lots. We're looking for parking, right? We get to our location. I like to get to my location like a block away, right? Before I get to my location or where I'm going, I'm looking for parking. I don't find the parking. What do? I go around the block looking for parking. I'm going to spin the block and come back to my original space, like where I was going to, the venue, the location, whatever. And I'm going to continue spinning the block, and maybe I'll extend my search because now I'm getting a little bit desperate. I'm getting a little bit late, right? So now I'm going to expand my search, but I'm spinning the block because my hope is that a car that was there before has left and I can replace it. But if I know for some reason that no car is going to leave their spot, why would I spin the block? Why am I going back to talk to an ex if nothing has changed? Why am I going back to give an ex a chance if they didn't have what I was looking for initially? Like, it has to be reasonable. It has to make sense, okay? So again, should you spin the block? Does the person have what you're looking for? If they have what you're looking for, then yes, you can reconsider it. But I also need you to consider why you blocked them in the first place. If you blocked them in the first place, if you deaded this in the first place, it may be because they didn't have what you were looking for, which means you should not spin the block. And if they did and you blocked them, then you need to do some internal work as to why you blocking people willy-nilly just because they angered you or frustrated you, when in the grand scheme of things, they are the person that you're looking for. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, and I hope that resonates with somebody up in here, okay? Best advice to navigate dating a truck driver making 2 to 3 week frequent trips. Best advice to navigate dating a truck driver making 2 to 3 week frequent trips. I'm assuming that you mean that the trips last 2 to 3 weeks. So he's on the road for 2 to 3 weeks and maybe home for a week, on the road for 2 to 3 weeks, on the road. All right. So unfortunately, this goes right back to what I was talking about in regards to the non-negotiables, right? Some people, they flourish in relationships where there's lots of space, right? Some people need to be up under, and that's not a judgment, I'm just an expression, right? Like, some people need to be up under their partner. I'm sure you've seen those reels where like the ladies would like literally like dig into the guy's shirt, and right? So if that's the case, you need to decide whether or not someone being in essence in a long distance relationship with them, if that someone is a good fit for you. If you are okay with spending some decent time alone, if you are okay with trusting someone and believing when they say they can't talk because they're on the road or they're unavailable or whatever it is, if you are comfortable with that kind of distance, then you go ahead. There's no right or wrong answer. You have to decide for yourself if you can accept the fact that you will potentially be home alone or in a long distance relationship for 2 to 3 weeks out of the month. If you are okay with that, then you are okay with that. Each person has to decide what's a right and what's a good fit for them. So I can't tell you what to do or what not to do. What I can advise you is you need to decide early, because please don't waste your time and please don't waste this man's time. You need to decide early whether or not a schedule like that is something that you can deal with. If you can deal with it, then great. So what you're going to do is you're going to make that decision. If you can deal, that's amazing. Then you are going to let this guy know that you understand that the schedule is complicated. However, you're willing to work it out. You are then going to let him know that perhaps, being presumptuous, that it's still important to you that you guys talk. So as long as he has service, the expectation is that you're on the phone. You're not texting, right? Because that might not be practical. But you're on the phone, and this is a line of communication that you'll need, and blah, 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 blah. But again, you have to decide whether or not someone being outside of your city or outside of your home for 2 to 3 weeks out the month is good enough for you. If it is, great. If it's not, it's okay. It doesn't make you a bad person or them a bad person. You just move on accordingly. Okay? Thank you for those who are purchasing a badge. I see Jappa Black has purchased a few badges. Thank you. Life of Shatis. Oh gosh, I feel so bad. Shatista. Did I get that right? Let me know how to pronounce it. I appreciate that. Want to be like Ike. Thank you for purchasing a badge. I appreciate all of you. What you need to do is stop what you're doing and subscribe to my page. So at my page, Align with Alison, I offer exclusive content only for those who subscribe. They get the morning gem. I know y'all used to love the morning gem. They get the morning gem exclusively. Sometimes it's the evening gem or the night gem. They get reels. They get exclusive content. They get extra cute pictures of my baby. We talk about a lot of mommy stuff. So go ahead and subscribe to my page. I appreciate you. I know, but you gotta like break it down on how to say it, okay? Because I messed it up. Okay. And views from the bars. Thank you for purchasing another badge. All right, let's keep it going. Keep it flowing. Dating two-time divorced workaholic for 4 months. There are so many problems with that first line. There are so many problems with that first line. Dating two-time divorced workaholic for 4 months. Seems to like being along. Oh no, my camera fell. Sorry guys, I'm back. Let me try to tighten this thing. I told my husband I needed a new ring and he told me no. So I blame him. Blame Andrew Wellington in the comments, please. Okay. Dating two-time divorced workaholic for 4 months. Seems to like being alone. I need y'all to proofread y'all questions for y'all send it to me because I'm going to struggle with them. But very consistent dating. Why? I don't know. But this is what I will say. I will say that I already have a problem with the fact that you're dating a two-time divorced workaholic. All right, so let's talk about the two-time divorce, right? One-time divorce, I don't have a problem with. And let me tell you, someone who's divorced might be actually oh gosh, you're going to embarrass me, girl. And then you're going to hate me. Shit, I love you. I'm sorry. I don't want to mess it up anymore. All right. One-time divorce, I'm not even mad, right? Because that means that this person is willing to commit. At one time in their life, they were willing to commit. So I'm not even mad. Look at it as I would rather hire someone who's been fired before or who has quit a job, right? Than necessarily someone who has never done the work. Like, I would prefer to hire someone to do a job for me who has done the job before. Maybe they quit, maybe they were fired, but they have the experience, right? Versus someone who has never, ever done the job. So I don't mind somebody who's been divorced once. I think that this actually potentially someone who has a lot of experience. They know exactly what they want. They're willing to commit. I don't have a problem with that. Divorced twice? Like, come on. Like, how many times does it take for you to figure out what you want and how to make it work? So I'm concerned about divorce twice. I think that's excessive, and I need to know deets, right? Number two, he's a workaholic. Again, similar to the young lady who was talking about the truck driver. Are you okay with being home alone? Are you okay with him missing birthdays, with him missing anniversaries, with him missing holidays, with him missing important events? I don't like the workaholic part. And someone in the comments said that's probably why he's divorced twice. Probably so. So I need to make sure, because you included it, that must mean that it's something that's weighing on your mind and your heart, that you're okay with the fact that he's divorced twice. But more importantly than that, because I don't know the details, but I do know what a workaholic is. And to me, that's problematic. How are we going to be able to build and get to know each other? How are we going to be raising children if you potentially want to do so? Like, how does that work? So that's a problem for me, okay? He seems to like being alone, but very consistent dating. Why? I don't know. But again, I'm more concerned about you working out the fact that he's a workaholic than trying to figure out his dating patterns and whether or not you can deal with the fact that he's a workaholic. Okay. Thank you, Jay, for purchasing a badge. I appreciate you. I think she meant guy. I really need y'all to proofread y'all questions. Please, please, and thank you. Dating this guy, talking every day, then communication stops. What happened? dating this guy, talking every day, then communication stops. What happened? Okay, well, obviously I don't know, right? You don't know, I don't know, only he knows. But this is what I can guess. One thing, and this is not a bad thing, I'm going to preface it by saying this is not a bad thing. It could be that you said something that turned him off. He asked a question, you were engaged in conversation about a topic, something happened that you may have said something that turned him off. And guess what? That is A-okay. If you have said something, just as if they have said something to you that you found offensive or wasn't in alignment with what you're looking for. Now, I mean, I would appreciate a good, hey, I don't think we're on the same page. We're not looking for the same things. I'd like that. A lot of people don't do it, right? And guess what? I think that that's karma. I saw another relationship coach say that. I thought that that was amazing. What's his name? Get Your Guy Coaching. He said that that's karma. Like, we need to be very mindful of the way that we treat people. And so when we ghost them and then we get ghosted and we're surprised and we're annoyed and we're upset, ha ha ha, good for you, right? I would appreciate someone saying, I don't think that we're on the same page. But perhaps that's what it was. Maybe you said something or did something that was a turnoff to him. It is okay. It doesn't mean for you to stop what you're saying or stop what you're doing. It just means that he was an inappropriate match for you. It just means he was an inappropriate match for you. Or it could be that he's seeing someone else, which again, it seems like is okay because you said you were dating him. My definition of dating does not include commitment. So perhaps he was seeing someone else, which you should be too. You should be seeing more than one person at a time. It does not mean that you are sleeping with these people. It means that you are getting to know these people so you can assess who's the best fit and then decide accordingly. Perhaps he was seeing someone else, decided that he or she was a better fit, and continued with them. But again, please do not ghost people willy-nilly. It's not nice. I used willy-nilly like 4 times on this live. Sorry, y'all. Do not ghost folks just because. Like, unless they've offended you, have done something outrageous, just let them know. Just let them know. And then move on accordingly, okay? Thank you for those who are purchasing a badge. Y'all on fire. Y'all got paid today. Bim, thank you for purchasing a badge. Nita Divine, thank you for purchasing a badge. But subscribe, y'all. The badges are cool. They cool. Subscribe to my page. You're actually gonna then pay for exclusive content that you can get all the time. And then I always answer your questions first and the most lengthy. So you win. Okay? Generally speaking, how soon is too soon to get engaged? Generally speaking, how soon is too soon to get engaged? This is going to depend on the person, on the relationship, on age. Yes, age, because somebody who's 77 may not have 3 years in them to be dating, going through courtship, going through commitment, getting engaged, and getting married. Okay? Thank you, Irreplaceable to you. So that is a really hard question. I can only answer the question for me where I am in my life. So for me, in my 30s, if I were not engaged with a gentleman, early 30s, if I were not engaged to a gentleman by the time 3 years in, we need to have a serious conversation about where we're going, and a decision needs to be made within days or weeks. Early 30s, 3 years, right? Like that's super general. You said generally speaking, super general. Again, the younger you are, the more time folks may need in order to assess and decide, because that's going to be a commitment that's longer, right? It's a longer lease. The older you are, you're going to need less time. You're going to be more sure of yourself. You're going to be more sure of what you're looking for. And literally, you don't have as much time. But for me, my recommendation would be, if we're in our 30s, 3 years is fair. Okay? That's how I feel. I lost my question. Sorry, y'all. We're having technical difficulties today. Here we go. How to tell a man you don't want sex until monogamy. Won't I push every man away? How to tell a man you don't want sex until monogamy. Meaning, I guess, a committed relationship with only the two of you. Won't that push every man away? No, that will not push every man away. No, it will not push every man away. Every man is not looking to have sex immediately. Okay? There are some people who are more than happy to wait. There are some people who may even want to wait till marriage. You might mess around and you talking about you want to wait till a commitment. They want to wait till marriage. Now, does it complicate things? Yes. Are there probably more men than not who would want to have sex earlier than that? Yes. But I highly recommend that you tell them early, that, you know, you're looking for a committed relationship. This is where you are in your life. And when it comes to sex, you would prefer to wait until you're committed. Commitment is not the end of the world. What I would say is way more difficult is if you said that you wanted to wait until marriage. Now, if there are folks who wanted to wait until marriage, which is A-okay, I've had clients who wanted to wait until marriage and have been successful. However, that means the types of people that you are going to want to date generally are going to be folks who are more religious. You're going to have to look in different places. It's going to be more complicated, right? But commitment, that's not the end of the world. You tell them early, right? And if they leave and if they move on and they don't think it's a good fit for them, that's A-okay. That's their right. Just like it's not a good fit for you. And it just wasn't meant to be. And that's okay. But I would let them know early on that it's important to you that you're in a committed relationship before you cross that bridge. Okay? Every man will not be pushed away as a result. Early dating stage says he can't say for sure he won't ever want a threesome. Should I move on? Early dating stage, he says he can't say for sure he won't ever want a threesome. Should I move on? Well, if you know that you are not ever willing to give it, and he says that he's not sure if he's willing to give up that option, then yes, you should move on. That would be a non-negotiable. That would be something that someone is unwilling to do, you, and something that he wants to do, him. And so do you want to wait until you get to that crossroads? I would not. I'm glad that he's being upfront and letting you know what his sexual desires are. You need to get clear on what yours are and what you're willing to do. If you are not willing to do it, then you need to move on expeditiously. Right? Like, you need to move on because that's not something that you're willing to do. And that's okay. It does not make him a bad person. It doesn't make you a prude. You're not willing, and that's just the end of that. Okay? Should I be upset if a guy I'm dating for 3 months won't friend me on IG? I asked, he said no. What's his reason? That seems very strange to me, but I would ask, what's his reason? What does friending someone, what's the problem? How does friending someone hurt anything, right? Like, even if my page is strictly anime, right? Even if my page is strictly review videos of reality television, right? Like, what is the harm in friending someone? I ask why, because I want I just want to understand. I want the clarity. And if it sounds like a BS excuse, it is a BS excuse. It seems like there's something to hide, and I would then not trust this person. And as a result of not trusting them is why I would move on. And I know what some folks are going to say. Someone said, is his page private? We don't know. That's a good question. Why can't we be friends? Epitome of Class says, I don't like being friends with my significant other on IG. Okay, she just doesn't like it. Okay. And that's fine. I mean, is your page private, Epitome of Class? The thing is that if people want to see what they're going to see it anyway. So I think, like, trying to deny someone access to a relatively public forum, even if a page is private, that private schmivate, like, that stuff is not real. As a result of, I want to know why. Like, what's the logic? If the logic is reasonable, then fine, I'll leave it alone. If it's unreasonable, then it's unreasonable. And it's not because you won't friend me, but it's because now I'm questioning you. I'm not sure if I trust you, because why, like, it's not reasonable why you would block me or not allow me to have access. Okay? Guess what? You might block me or not give me access, but I'm going to make a fake profile and you're going to think it's about LeBron James' biggest fans, and you'll accept the request, and like, it's fake. It's BS. Like, a friend is going to get in. People are going to get access. So trying to hide it is ridiculous, and it's not going to work. But to each their own. Okay? Boyfriend lives in London. I live in Jamaica. He can't travel. Thoughts? Boyfriend lives in London. I live in Jamaica. He can't travel. Thoughts? Well, what's the conversation about how you guys are going to be together? Because it's only going to last for so long at this distance. It's not practical to think that you guys are going to get married over Skype or Zoom. You're not going to be able to have a child or at least raise them appropriately. Well, let me not say that. Raise them in the way that I think most people would like to raise their children, with both of the parents in the household. So what is the plan? Is he can't travel to you, is your plan to move to London? If you are in a position where you can move, you want to, this is the direction the relationship is going in, there's ample employment for you, then that needs to be the conversation. But if there is no plan, and even if that plan is a year out or 18 months out, like what is the plan? I assume, oh, that's a good question, XO. I just assume the reason that he couldn't travel was probably because of papers. Because she said he can't, like he cannot do it. So I would assume it's like not he won't or can't afford to. I assume it was papers, but again, that's my West Indian mind. Everything is always papers, so I could be wrong. Again, what is the plan? If we can put a plan in place that's going to get us together at some point, then fine. You can do the long distance thing. It'll eventually work out if there's a plan. If there's no plan, then this distance cannot work. Because how are we going to be able to grow and develop our relationship when one person is in London and the other person's in Jamaica? That's for any long distance. There needs to be a plan. I get a version of this question all the time. What do you think about long distance relationships? There needs to be a plan. When is this person being like moving or being assigned to? If it's the military, like when are we getting together? If there is no plan to put in place of when we could finally be together, then it's not going to work. So if you can create the plan and you can execute the plan and y'all are happy, then keep going. Yeah, someone, Key Desire says deportation. That's her West Indian mind. Like I always think it's papers. I assume it can't be money, because I'd like to think, especially someone who's working in London, that means that he's in a position in some form or fashion to earn or raise the money to travel, right? So I'm assuming it's not money. I'm assuming it's papers. And if that's the case, come up with a plan of how you're going to move to London. And if you don't want to, or there's no opportunity for you, then it's not going to work. So you need to move on, okay? I'm 31. This is a woman, in case that matters. He's 22. Realistically, do you think it can work for a committed relationship? Realistically, I would say no. Practically, I would say no. Logically, I would say no. Are there instances where there's a huge age gap, especially when the man is much younger than the woman, and it does work? Yes. Are those the outliers? Yes. I highly recommend that you date people who are close to you in age until it doesn't matter. When you're 70 and he's 60, nobody cares, right? But in this point, I cannot imagine that a 22-year-old young man is mature enough and wants the same things that you want at the age of 31. I can't imagine that. I'm sure that there are plenty of very mature, not plenty. I'm sure that there are a few very mature 22-year-old men that may want the same things that a 31-year-old woman wants. I highly doubt it. You said realistically, so we're going to be realistic. No, you're wasting your time. Keep it moving. I can't imagine. I can't imagine he wants what you want. I can't imagine he's mature enough. I can't imagine he can appreciate what you're going through in your stage, right? If the woman is 51 and the guy is 42, that's better, right? Because again, the older you are, the age gaps matter less. Think about, and not in a romantic way, because this is not SVU, right? Think about one friend who's 10 and the other one who's 20. What can a 10 and a 20-year-old talk about, right? A 10-year-old is going to the 4th grade. They're learning fractions. A 20-year-old is finishing college, looking to get an apartment. Like, right? The younger you are, the larger the age gap is. It doesn't work. The older you are, did I say that right? The younger you are, the bigger the age gap, the less likely it can work. It can't work. What is it to talk about? The older you are, the less important the age gap is, because then the person who's younger is catching up in experience. Okay? So that's that. Realistically, you need to move the hell on. The hell on. Trying to purchase a home, looking for work. Oh, this person... Okay, so let me tell you, this person sent me this question. I did not understand it. I normally don't do this, but I DM'd them and said, can you explain some more? Because I wanted to answer the question, but it just wasn't enough. I do want to answer this question though, and I'm breaking a lot of rules for y'all. Don't answer questions in the comments, but I will this time. How should I ask a guy? Oh, no, not that one. This was expanding on what I was saying before. Does gender matter? What about a 31-year-old woman at 40? Again, the older you are, the gap doesn't matter as much. So 31, 41, not a big deal. 2231, absolutely, that is outrageous. And that is a good question if she wants kids. Okay? So let me go to my DMs, un momento, because I needed to understand more. I really wanted to answer this question, and I needed to understand more because I didn't know what the heck she was talking about. Okay, so this is a little bit longer, okay? Bear with me. Met him on September 20th or September 2020 or September, I don't know. Met him in September. We want the same things. He's been trying to purchase a home, but due to a bidding war, he's been living in Airbnb. He has diabetes, which has caused erectile dysfunction. He can't get it up at all. Job contract just ended, so now he's looking for work. I really like him, but should I try or should I run? I'm asking because I know all of this up front. Sickness and health and marriage vows, and I feel stupid by advancing because I have everything together, and basically he's a project that I think I'll resent myself if I stay and try. Okay. So, let me put it this way so I don't come across as insensitive. This is what I tell people all the time. There's this ideology that I've only heard women say, or right? Okay. That, you have to, if you want me at my best, you have to love me at my worst. Or they say things, I need a man who can handle me, or something along those lines, right? This is what I say to that kind of idea. In order for me to deal with foolishness, I gotta love you first. Like, if I don't love you, then why would I have to deal with your shortcomings? If I love you, I will deal because I love you. I'm invested. If I don't love you, if I'm not invested, if I just like you, then I'm not dealing with your shortcomings because I don't have enough invested. It doesn't make sense, right? Like, I'm not in love. I'm in like. I like you. So if you want me at my best, you got to love me at my worst. But I don't even know you, sis. So then why would I? You know what I'm saying? Am I making sense, y'all? I say all this to say that he's trying to purchase a home but lives in an Airbnb. That sounds like absolute, and I'm going to curse because I try not to. Sounds like absolute bullshit, okay? He sounds homeless to me. Next, he has diabetes. He's ill, which causes erectile dysfunction, which means that sexually, unless he's able to get his diabetes under control, you're going to be unfulfilled. That sounds super problematic to me. And now he's unemployed. Now, if this was a husband, as you said, sickness and health, right? If this is a husband, he's unemployed for the moment, then I'm going to step up and I'm going to make sure I pitch in and I'm going to support him. I'm going to be helping with resumes and cover letters. I'm going to be applying for jobs on his behalf as he does it at the same damn time, right? I'm not your effing assistant, but I'm going to support you in getting your employment. Then we're going to take my finances and your finances, combine them, and then we're going to purchase this house. Then we're going to work on working out together, even though I hate working out. We're going to work out together. We're both going to suffer and change our diet. We're going to get that diabetes under control so that you are healthy and living for us. And then also all of the stuff, right? Like the sexual stuff is resolved. That is for my husband. You met this man, I believe, September 20th is what this is, and not September of 2020. No. This is one of the biggest dubs of all time. This is one of the biggest no's that I've given in a very long time in our weekly live Q&A. No. Someone said you're looking at potential. What potential? He's unemployed, he's homeless, and he's sick. I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm not trying to be tough. This is not your man. There's no reason for us to feel obligated to support someone who is homeless, unemployed, and ill. Dub City. Okay? So the answer is, Mamacita, which I'm so glad that I reached out and said, can you explain? Because I didn't understand the question. Absolutely not. He is unemployed, he is homeless, and he is ill. If it were just the illness, then I would say, okay, well, I like him and he has a lot of things going for himself. He has everything else. Let me see if I can help him get on a regimen, blah, 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 blah. But come on. I'm going to say y'all playing the ass. Like, we're not doing this, okay? We are absolutely not doing this. Next question. So I was talking so much that the damn page expired and I lost everything. I'm glad you asked, and I'm glad that you asked. and I hope that you listen. I'm glad that you asked, and I hope that you listen, because plenty of people ask for advice from me and from others, and they do not listen. Okay? Please. Please, please, please. What is a reasonable amount of time to date a person before making things official? What is a reasonable amount of time to date a person before making things official? If this person lives in your city, you're seeing them frequently, and you talk almost every day, then I believe that 3 months is enough time for you to assess whether or not they're a good fit for you, and for you to commit to them, and for them to commit to you. Right? Again, we had somebody earlier who was dating someone who's a trucker, blah, blah, blah. Like, you might not be in the same position if you're not seeing each other frequently. If you're seeing each other frequently, I think once a week, if you live in the same city, there's no reason why not, right? Once a week, you're talking almost every day. 3 months is enough time for you to assess whether or not they're a good fit for you, and then you decide accordingly. Okay? Guy I date, too busy with work, can only see me 1 to 2 times a month. Time is a non-negotiable. Should I date others? Okay. You already answered your own question. I'm going to read it, and you're going to see. Guy I date, too busy with work, can only see me 1 to 2 times a month. Time is my non-negotiable. Should I date others? Time is your non-negotiable. He cannot provide time. Ergo, he is an inappropriate match. Forget about dating others. We're no longer dating him. Like, by saying, should I date others, means we keep him on the roster and then we add to the roster. Absolutely not. He is removed from the roster, right? Because he cannot fulfill one of your non-negotiables. You said you're Shamari, non-negotiable means you do not negotiate. Portia says, if it's a non-negotiable, why are you assessing? There is nothing to talk about here. You already explained to me that this is a non-negotiable. As a result, it cannot work. And I will also say, side note, you ain't asked me all this. He is absolutely full of it that he works so hard that he can only see you 1 to 2 a month. We don't believe you. You need more people. He don't have a lunch break. He can't say, I work 2 jobs full time, but maybe you can meet me at the cafe around the corner just for a quick coffee. Or maybe he's working his wife. But besides that, the point is, it's your non-negotiable. So as a result, party done. Okay? I have 2 more, 3 more, 4 more. 5 more. Oh, goodness. Okay, I have more than I thought. Oh, God. Okay, my bad. I was about to say I don't have many questions, so we can join. If you want to join live to ask a question, you can. But you know what? We might not make it. Let's see what we can get. Okay? Met significant other, totally aligned, but not physically attracted to him. Keep looking or settle. Met significant other, totally aligned, but not physically attracted to him. Keep looking or settle. Okay. I answered this question via a reel that's on my page already, and I've answered this question before, all right? I need to know what you mean when you say not physically attracted. What is your type? Is your type realistic? Are you the type that your type would date, right? And I'm going to explain why in a moment. Or is this person ugmug? I need to know what level of not attracted are we talking about. So let me explain what I just said. Are you the type that your type would date? Some people want models, and models would not date them. Now, I am not the one who's going to get on Beyonce's internet and say you're whatever at best. That's not my style. I'm going to leave you to assess how you look. And I'm going to leave you to assess how you present, and I'm going to leave you to assess, would your type date you, right? I don't know. I didn't even click on your page, so this is not a judgment of what you look like. I did not even click on you. I am not judging you, okay? I don't know who you are at all. But we need to consider that, because sometimes what we want is out of reach. So is this person in alignment relatively within, is he in your lane? Or is he ugmug? The question was, met significant other, totally aligned but not physically attracted. Should I keep looking or settle? Okay. I don't even like the word settle. I like the word being realistic. If he's ugmug, if you are not attracted to him to the point where if he kisses you, it turns you off. If you are not attracted to the point where you cannot perform sexually, right? Like if it's to that level, then yes, move on. Because then you're going to be unfulfilled for the rest of your life. That doesn't make any sense. You're going to be embarrassed when you bring him around. You're going to be unfulfilled sexually. If you can't even you know what I'm saying? Then okay, this is ugmug. If he's relatively in your lane, right? Like if we're talking about luxury vehicles and you are a Range Rover and he's a Lexus, right? A Lexus is a luxury vehicle, but it's kind of on the lower end. If you're a Range Rover and he's an Acura, if you're a Maserati and he, like, y'all in the same lane, then you need to be realistic. What is the likelihood that you're going to find another man that has everything else that this man has, plus he's this god, right? I would say Greek god, but I ain't Greek. He's an African god. Let's be realistic. So that's the best I can do. I don't know what you look like, and I don't know what he looks like. If it's ugmug, okay. If you can't, and by ugmug, the measurement would be like you don't even want him on you. You can't get turned on. Like sex is possibly painful or uncomfortable because of it. Then fine. If he's relatively in yours, it's not outrageous. When you walk down the street, people aren't saying, "Oh my God, how the hell did he get you? He must have money." Oh my God, how the hell did he get you? He must have money. That is the measurement, and then decide from there. Okay. I'm going to hold on that question. There's a question here that's a lot. Okay. What are the must-haves or wear to attract men on the dating scene? Color-wise, too. I have too many black clothes. All right. So, what are the must-haves or what must you wear to attract men on the dating scene? I'm going to tell you, and this is not because I'm trying to avoid the question. I'm going to tell you to Google it. And the reason why I say that is because there have been plenty of studies that talk about what men like. Plenty of studies. They talk about, and I've seen these studies, and again, I don't know how true they are. So that's why I think like looking at a study or talking to a man would be your best bet. They talk about like simpler nails, like not the like very long acrylic design filled, like generally speaking, right? They say light or natural makeup. Now the light or natural makeup, I'm gonna kind of tell the guys to kiss my butt on because they don't even know makeup. They think that Kim K wears light to little makeup and they don't know that that's a natural beat, right? They don't know. But supposedly light to little makeup, they tend to supposedly not like a lot of extensions. However, the women that they like on Instagram and on social media have all of those things. But please note, that's an argument that women love to have. But the women on Instagram that you like got the weave and the makeup and the nails and the body done. So then how come you're saying that this is what you want? What they want in their home and what they want raising their children is not what they necessarily want in bed at 2:00 in the morning. Okay. So I understand the logic of, well, how come the types of women that you like online are not reflective of who you date? Because it's like, I can like something that's grand, but I know that it's not practical for me. Does that make sense? Okay. So again, I would say Google it, but things I've read, a more natural a more natural look. They like lip gloss over lipstick. They like colors. They like for their women to look sexy without them being too revealing. That is my general understanding. But again, I highly recommend that you Google it because there have been plenty of studies that talk about men's preferences. Light natural look, colors for clothing, and sexy yet not too revealing. Okay, and we're talking about liking for the purpose of commitment, not liking for the purpose of double tapping. Because liking for the purpose of double tapping is all the makeup, all the weave, all the nails, all the fake body, and naked as hell. We know this, okay? And even though I do understand how that can seem contradictory, and it's annoying, but it's not contradictory. It's who they want in bed versus who they want for life. Make sense? Okay. And also, side note, and the men might not like this, they can't afford those women. So they like them on an app, but in reality, they're not getting those chicks. So they are practical too. With winter coming, where can I meet potential suitors? not club or online. With winter coming, where can I meet potential suitors? Not club or online. You're going to click the link in my bio. You're going to go to Dating 101. And actually, I'm going to relaunch this class. I'm going to do this class the first week of November. This is my formal announcement. I am going to do Dating 101 for 2023 in the first week of November. Probably going to be a Thursday or something night, right? So we can talk about this again. But what you're going to do to find them, you're going to click the link in my bio. Actually, you're going to go on my page first because I have a quick reel that talks about this. Then for the lengthy conversation, so you can really wrap your mind around it, click the link in my bio, tap on Dating 101. It is only $37. And then I'm going to do the class again, updated for 2023. And that's going to be the first week of November. You heard it here first. Okay? And I'm not even going to talk about why not online because I'm tired of saying the same thing over and over again. How should you go about your first holiday as a couple when you're both close to your family? How should you go about your first holiday as a couple when you're both close to your family? Split the day. Split the day. That's how you do it. So you're going to say, Mom, you know that I'm dating James. He asked me to come over to visit his family. Do you have an idea of what time Thanksgiving dinner is going to be? Because I really want to be with the family, but I also want to spend some time with James. James is going to do the same thing. And if you can potentially kind of push your family to do different shifts, somebody's going to have dinner at 4, someone else is going to have dinner at 8, that would be amazing. Okay? Split the day. And you might potentially be splitting the day for a long time, but that's it. Split the day. Oh, Jay said the same thing. Split the day. Okay? How many dates should I give a guy before ending things due to no connection? How many dates should I give a guy before ending things due to no connection? So usually I'm patient. Well, I'm not patient in life. But usually when it comes to dating, I'm a little bit patient once the person isn't doing anything that's like awkward or intrusive or disrespectful. However, and this is only in consideration for men and for men who are paying for dates, I don't want to waste anyone's money, number one, and anyone's time. So as a result, after date number 3, if I don't feel some kind of romantic connection or chemistry, then that's when I'm done. Date number 1, I allow for awkwardness. Date number 2, we're going to recoup. And maybe there's a hiccup. If by the end of date number 3, I don't feel that connection, then it's over. Okay? So date number 3. Again, generally, I don't like to rush things. I like to give people a chance. But I know I'm not paying for the date. I know that he's paying for each and every one of them. Excuse me. So as a result, I don't want to waste this man's time. I don't want him texting me talking about I need cash at me half the date back. 3 dates. If we haven't decided that we're a good match, or I haven't decided we're a good match, then I'm going to keep it moving. When do you take financial responsibility for a child that's not yours if the dad is present? Never. When we say financial responsibility, are we talking about you take the kid to Dave and Buster's? Because if he has an active dad and you're dating the mom, the child should be well cared for. So I don't know why you would need to take financial responsibility. Now, that's different than it's his birthday and so you bought him a new basketball hoop, right? That's not financial responsibility. That's being a nice person and buying this kid a gift. But I cannot imagine why, if the father is active and present and then you're dating the mother, who I assume is active and present, why you would need to ever take financial responsibility for the child. For what? Buy gifts, take out and have some quality time. Like I said, Dave and Buster's, going to the park, going to the water park, whatever, is not financial responsibility. What is his role exactly? I would imagine that he is the boyfriend and maybe potentially soon to be husband. And by default, as the husband who's in the household, then you're taking care of the household financially, or in part taking care of the household, which would include the son. Or I said son, but the child. But I don't see why. Why would we? I don't know if I'm confused. I'm confusion. Somebody in the comments help me out. Okay? Been attracting men that are not on my level financially and are typically mama's boys. What should I do? Go elsewhere. Do the exact opposite. Go to the exact opposite place that you've been going. So if you've been going any places in person, you need to go to the exact opposite of those places so that you can find the exact opposite kinds of guys. If you're on dating apps, then maybe you need to change your profile. Click the link in my bio, Dating 101, and I'm going to host a live one in November. That's what you need to do to change your profile. I'm going to teach you how to change your profile, and then that's what you need to do to attract new people. But you're going places where the wrong people are, or your profile is not written in a way that's helping you to attract the right people, so you need some help. Okay? I think this is the last question before I have a little bit of time that I could take. So if you have a question and you'd like to go live with me, then go ahead and click on the little camcorder thing right there. So if you have a question and you are willing to go live to answer that question, then please go ahead and click on that. I'm going to take this last question, and by the time I'm done, if you are there, I'm going to click you in. You're going to ask your question. I'm going to answer it, and then we're going to be done. Okay? Here we go. This is the last one. I saved this. You ready? Confessed he has herpes on the third date. Should I wait for sex until we are a couple? I like him. Oh, absolutely. Someone asked, I need that Dating 101 class now. Will you let your subscribers know the date? Absolutely. So let me tell you what's going to happen. I was talking to my husband today. I said, I need to do it for 2023. I just decided it's going to be the first week of November, right? If you subscribe, you are going to get the date first. You're going to get access first, and you are going to get a discount into the class first. So if you are a subscriber to my page, you will have the date first, you will have the link first, and you will get a special link that's going to be discounted because you support me. I'm going to support you, okay? And trust me, it's going to be less. You're going to save more than what you paid to be a subscriber. So it's in your best interest to go ahead and subscribe to my page. Now let's get back to this question. Okay. Confessed he has herpes on the third date. Should I wait for sex until we are a couple? I like him. I have had clients with STDs, incurable STDs, okay? And my recommendation to them, I am not a medical professional. My recommendation to them is to date other people who are also positive. The reason is because, and you've surprised me because I'm assuming that you are not positive and you're still willing to date this guy, okay? Most people are going to respond negatively. So I appreciate the fact that he disclosed. However, my recommendation to people who have an incurable STD is normally to try to date people who also have it so that you can avoid a lot of the awkwardness that comes along with this conversation. Okay? Seeing that he didn't do that, obviously, and he's dating you and he's upfront about it, I would not continue to date this gentleman. I know that might be insensitive, and I hope I don't offend anyone. There are plenty of dating apps for those who have a positive diagnosis for any incurable STD in reference to the comments. That might be insensitive, that might not be kind. I'm just telling you if it were me. So if it were me, I would not continue to date him. However, that's not an option, obviously, because you're asking me when to have sex, which means you're willing to date him, which means you're willing to have sex with him, right? I would do all, or I would not. I would recommend to you to do all of the necessary research. I would recommend to you to go to the doctor with him so that you can hear from a medical professional what steps you need to take in order to optimize protecting yourself. And as a result of doing the necessary research, but see, I see people saying to use protection. And again, I'm not a medical professional, but my understanding is that herpes can still be, come on, y'all know what I'm talking about, transferred or whatever outside of where the condom may protect it, right? Especially if the person's having an outbreak. That's my very limited understanding. So do the necessary research. Go to the doctor with him so you're in the same room when the medical professional advises you, right? And then you decide to do what you want to do with that. That means transmittable. Thank you. That means that I would not recommend for you to do it anytime soon. Okay? If you decide that you still want to see this gentleman, then you need to do your necessary research. You need to go speak to a medical professional in person, find out what you need to do in order to minimize your risk, and then move forward accordingly. Okay? That's what I would do with that. Now, I have one person who has clicked on to go live with me. Let me make sure that as much as I can that they're not. Okay, they're a real person. Excellent. Let me make sure she's a real person, because sometimes it be people like not real. And let us hear what question you have. So, Nay. Oh, Nay. Okay, Nay's no longer available. All right. So I am going to wrap up at that point. I'm right at the 1 hour mark. I appreciate all of you guys. Again, we do this every week on Wednesdays, live Q&A. All you have to do is drop the question in my stories, not my DMs, in my stories. I'm going to be hosting the Dating 101 live class the first week of November. That's in 2 weeks or so. So make sure you watch out for that. If you are a subscriber to my page, you are going to get the link first. You're also going to get a discount off of the course first, so that you don't have to worry about those things. And you'll get access first, because I will be capping it. Okay? All right, beautiful people. It has been a pleasure. I hope that this live has been informative. If it has, please go ahead and share this with anyone who you think can benefit. And have a wonderful evening. Bye.